Give me 1 second, y'all. I apologize. I got a good topic for you all today. I'm Mark Fuller. This is the Free World Order. My intention is to provoke your thought, to get you thinking about different topics, different things that we deal with as a part of the current paradigm that we're in and the system that we're using, which is mainly based around money. I want to thank everyone who is supporting us. I want to thank everyone who comments, likes, subscribes, gives us feedback on these videos, and those of you supporting us financially. My goal is to raise $1 billion in order to actually build the first resource-based city in the world, using the foundation laid out by the Venus Project. You can go to thevenusproject.com, check out the information there. You'll have a better idea of what I'm talking about. The Free World Order, we want to raise $1 billion in actuality, so that we can actually build a city that does not use money. It instead uses the resources of our planet in order to create sustainability and abundance for all people. All right? That's nothing like what we've ever seen on this planet. It's nothing like what we have now. It's different. All right? We're talking about implementing a system where every human being on the planet lives in abundance of everything, instead of lack, having to survive, having to deal with scarcity, having to deal with crime and violence. In order to change the behavior of people, you have to change the environment that people live in. It's that simple. For whatever reason, your politicians, your religions, they haven't figured it out yet. Now, my topic today, I want to talk about, is this system cheating you out of a good life? There's an interesting statistic, and I think that it actually falls short, because they, to some degree, they can only keep track of but so much information. A lot of details get lost in the source, so to speak. But there's and I shared this with my son. He's 10 years old. When I showed him the statistic, he immediately started crying. He became very emotional. And it's because he's compassionate, which most children are. Because before, children are polluted with garbage fed to them by this system that we're living in, the education system, all of it. It's nonsense that is fed to our kids from when they're born. And we perpetuate most of it in our house and in our lives. But basically, in the United States, I think it may be across the globe. In a year, more than 3 million children actually die from starvation. Realize what I just said. 3 million children under the age of 5 die from starvation. Now, let me just put that in perspective for you. How many children are in the United States that are under 5? If I had to guess, I would say it's more than that. But even that number, the population of the U.S. is about 325 million people. Imagine if out of 325 million people this year, 3 million of those people who are kids under the age of 5 died because they didn't have enough food to eat. I say that just to put it in perspective, because Americans tend to have an attitude when it comes to being patriotic about America. They feel proud to be an American, glad that they're in America, you know, able to live as a part of American society, because, you know, God forbid if you were born in another part of the world and you actually had to be subjected to that statistic that I just mentioned, where your child died because they simply did not have enough to eat for really no other reason other than that. So the nervous system that we must have as human beings is to be sensitive to that type of situation that other people are in, wherever they are on the planet. It doesn't matter where they are, what language they're speaking. See, this is what I talk about constantly about our humanity. And we have the same problems in common. You know, what are you worrying about if you live in the United States? You know, day to day, what are you really concerned about? Now, don't get me wrong. In the United States, there are a lot of people that are actually, they don't have enough to eat also. But it's different when you don't have enough to eat, but you can somehow get some type of financial assistance, or somebody just gives you food on the street. It's different when your child is subjected to being hungry because the resources are not made available to you because of where you live and reside in the world. You just happen to live in a country where they cut off the supply of resources and make it damn near impossible for you to have something as basic as food. Okay? And it doesn't matter to what degree it is. Hunger, period. Homelessness. Definitely starvation. Starvation means that you starve to death. That's not an easy 1, 2, 3 death. That's a very slow, agonizing, painful death. You're suffering as you wither away until the breath leaves your body, because your body doesn't have any nutrition. Your body is malnourished, and eventually you expire. That's a horrible way to die. And there are millions of children. We're not even talking about the adults, just the children alone. More than 3 million in a year. This is unacceptable. And it should be unacceptable to you if you're watching this, because I talk about things that are real to people, not just real to you and to the society that you're living in. Not real to me and the society that I'm living in. If you're like me, you live in the United States. I live in New York in particular. And I see a lot of nonsense, and people are, you know, living in poverty, etc. Yes. But what I'm talking about is even bigger than that. And I'm talking about the nervous system of human beings for other human beings. Because at the end of the day, when you look at everything, people try to justify why things happen when it's really simple why things happen. They don't happen because God let them happen. They're not happening because God is punishing someone. These are the reasons that people like to give to why things are the way that they are in the world. In reality, what it is people are allowing very small groups of people to use systems that keep the masses of people enslaved to the system. And all of the wealth is extracted from the mass of people. Either their labor is being used, or they are being controlled, and they're being marginalized to some degree by the system and kept in a state of control and fear and reliance on the system. And children are born into this, and then it's perpetuated and it's repeated over and over again through whatever education people receive. So it just perpetuates. It just continues to go on and on and on, and it repeats itself over and over again. And it has to stop. It literally has to stop. A lot of people don't realize what it is that I'm trying to do with the free world order. It's not just about America. It's not just about one country. It's about humanity. And it's about humanity all across this planet. You have to realize something. When you look at television and you see commercials, where the Red Cross or, these other different charitable organizations, they'll show you, children in other countries that you can adopt and you can donate money to try to save a child somewhere in another part of the world. Now, I'm not saying that those organizations are not reputable and that they're not useful. They are, because at least they're doing something to try to help these people. However, with us being in the United States, we have to realize that that means something as far as the rest of the world goes, because whatever we start in the United States, other countries follow. They do. So if we begin something that moves us in another direction where we're not allowing a system that keeps people at the bottom of the system in a state of poverty, in a state of reliance on government funding and things of that nature, but rather we're utilizing a system that actually provides for all based on the resources of the earth that we're living on. This is a different idea. It's a different concept, and it's a very powerful one, and it's also a very threatening one. This is a threat to the existing system that we have. And people don't like change. They don't like change because they don't understand what the change means. But I'm going to simplify it for you. The change from monetary based to resource based is very simple. What it means is now, instead of only a few people being able to live an abundant life, a life full of abundance of all things, instead of just a few people able to live like that, with intelligent management of our resources on this planet, everyone is able to live that way, which now begins to remove so many of the problems that we experience as a result of using the system that we have now, like crime, like health issues people have because they're not able to get access to healthy food and afford it. You know how expensive it is to eat healthier? It's very expensive. Most people can't afford that. So how do they eat? Like this. This is the perfect example. Healthier choices are available, but they're not giving them access to you because they are priced too high. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. Not giving access to people is what is creating so many of the problems that we have as human beings. Obesity, sickness, different diseases that people, develop over time. A lot of it comes because of our diet, the way that we eat. And a lot of food that they're producing, they're putting chemicals and preservatives and all of these things in the food. Let me read off a couple of these ingredients in here. Look. Maltodextrin. What the hell is that? Well, this actually doesn't have that much craziness in it. But there's some stuff, when you read it, it sounds like a chemical, because it is. And they're putting it in the food that you have on the shelves in the supermarket. Really, the food that we're supposed to be eating should be food that's grown organically and not sprayed with pesticides. So that's vegetables, fruit, right? That's how we should eat if we want to live well. And they are delicious foods that can be served, and there's chefs and there's people that know how to prepare the foods so that they taste real good, all of that stuff. But you're not given access to this because it's too expensive for you. And it's because you live at the bottom of the system. So you financially can't afford to get access to that type of food so that you can have a better diet have less problems with your health, have healthier children, etc. I can go on and on about that. But the main point is that I'm telling you, this system is cheating you out of a good life. It is. We can have the best life that you can imagine right now. People always associate being a millionaire with being able to live a great lifestyle. They see millionaires able to travel and they can go to the best restaurants, eat the best food, drive the nicest cars, wear the nicest clothes. There is absolutely no reason that every person on our planet should not live that way if they want to. Okay? There's no reason why. But I'm telling you all, if you don't do anything, if you do nothing, nothing will happen. It will just continue to go on the same way it's been going on all of this time until we interrupt the flow and the machine that is the system. And how do we interrupt that? We have to organize. That's why I'm raising $1 billion. See, people think when they look at me, they're like, oh, he's out to scam everybody. He's out to, you know, rip people off. You see what it is that I tell you guys to start with. I tell you to start with $1 a month. Why am I telling you that? Because $1 to you represents nothing that is painful to you financially. Yet, look at how far that goes if that is collected and put towards something that's going to benefit everyone. I'm not talking about benefiting just the people that are donating to the Free World Order cause and to the Venus Project. It's not just about the people that donate to this cause the way that many other organizations and charities are set up. You see, when you donate to whatever the charity is, they have one goal, and your only real benefit from it might be a tax deduction or something like that. We are talking about changing the dynamic of the way we live on this planet, on Earth. Changing the dynamic of how people are able to live. Being able to eat healthier. Being able to have access to healthy eating. Not just more money. We don't need money. We already have the science, the technology, and the resources in order to provide an abundant lifestyle for every human being. And it starts with that first city. When we build that first resource-based city and we're not using money in the city and people are able to come and see that in action, people are going to realize what we got now is some real bullshit. This is fucked up what we got, as a matter of fact. This shit right here is keeping people poor because everything is restricted by your income level. Where you live is restricted. Where your children go to school, the type of education that they're receiving, the type of health care that you are all receiving, the type of food that you're able to have access to. Am I lying? It's all real, man. It's all real. I only speak the realness. I've analyzed this shit for long enough. And I'm telling you, you know, in this system, the system basically forces you to be a scumbag. It forces you to try to manipulate your way through and get your hands on as much money as you possibly can so that you can live a better life. It's not just about you living a better life. It's about all of us. Think about those 3 million kids a year that die from starvation somewhere else in another part of the world. We got something better that we all can use and benefit from. What we have is better. It's better. It's not perfect, but it's better than what we have now. On that note, let me get up out of here. Mark Fuller, Free World Order. I really hope that you guys start to understand what it is that I'm really trying to do through the Free World Order and, you know, financially start supporting, because the sooner that we're able to get that first city built, the sooner people are actually able to see it in action. When you go to the venusproject.com, you see the plans and the blueprint and the foundation and the way that it can be laid out. And all of it is already done. Like this is already established, but they don't have the money. No one is funding them, because why would somebody, if I was a millionaire, a multimillionaire in this system here, Why would I want to finance something that is going to allow everyone else to live the way that I do? When this system is training me and teaching me, shit, if you rich, you better do what you got to do to stay rich. You see what I'm saying? It teaches you to be selfish, self-absorbed. You're not thinking as a human being anymore. You're thinking like a selfish, robotic person. Everything you do is just to make more money. Oh, well, I got to make more money. I got to keep what I got. I want to, pass on generational wealth to my kids. Well, what about everybody else's fucking kids? It's very selfish, the way that the system has people thinking. And it really aggravates me. And when I talk about it, that's why I cuss and, I get a little emotional, because this is all bullshit. We all deserve better. You deserve better. I deserve better. We all deserve better. Children right now dying from starvation deserve better. It's not right. And I don't see how a lot of you that are in religion can call yourself a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or whatever your fucking religion is. Part of my French. Whatever God you following and believing in, how can you call yourself whatever you are and not be sensitive to what is actually happening in the real world? I'm not talking about just where you live, on the planet that we all live on, and we have to all live on to survive as a species. Everything that we're doing in the system is messing shit up. We're polluting the air that we have to breathe. We fucking up the ozone layer that we need to protect us from the sun. Creating all type of weather. Look at all the hurricanes moving around. This is as a result of the heat distribution on the planet. All of that is being affected by the shit that we're doing. This is a good video. This is a very good video. I'm going to promote the hell out of this video because I want people to really begin understanding what it is that we're a fucking part of. It's like everybody's walking around with these blinders on their eyes. All they care about is getting money, trying to pay their bills, trying to live a better life. You're not going to really be able to live a better life in this system. Let me tell you straight up. You're really not. You're going to get but so far, and then some shit is going to happen, and it's going to throw you off, and then you're going to end up right back where you started. It just is what it is. How many people do you know are making more than 6 figures a year? How many people do you know are millionaires? It all seems like dream, right? The American fucking dream. What, a fucking house and a white picket fence and a backyard? Who really gives a fuck? Who really cares about that when you have other people elsewhere don't even have food to eat? Think about how much food that is wasted in the United States alone. You know how much money is spent on food that was actually thrown in the garbage? It's a crazy number. It's like $170 billion a year that's wasted. That's food that someone else at least could have ate, whether it's nutritious or not. It could have kept somebody from dying from starvation. You see what I'm saying? So the distribution of resources, the distribution of food, the distribution of things that people need, wherever they are. I don't care what country they're in. What beef do you even have with somebody from another country just because your government is claiming that there's a beef or that another country is a threat? I guarantee you right now, just for example, while I'm on the subject, if you went to North Korea right now and you just spoke to regular people that live in North Korea, that live on the street, the same way that people do here, that don't have enough to eat, and you had a conversation with them, they don't give a fuck what color you are, where you're from. What are they worried about? Something to eat. I guarantee you that most of the people, the citizens of any country, don't even feel the way that the government feels. What is all of the nonsense that goes on politically? It's all about what? Power? Maintaining your power and position in the world? Keeping countries afraid of you? That's what all of this nuclear shit is about. Maintaining power. What, you want to be the most military country in the world so that no one fucks with you? But what is your heart? Where's your heart and your compassion for your fellow human being? Where's that at? You can train people to kill and become soldiers and killing machines, but you can't train people to bridge the gap between whatever the disagreements may be between countries and nations. What kind of shit is that? That should come first, because we all have the same fucking problems as human beings. Collectively. I guarantee you in North Korea, in China, in Japan, they got heart disease and shit too. They got cancer. They got high blood pressure. They got malnutrition. They got pollution. They got water problems. It's all human problems. It has nothing to do with your color or your language or where the fuck you from. Anyway, let me get off of this now. I apologize for ranting a little bit, but this is a very important video. And I pray that when you guys start watching, you know, the content that I'm sharing with you, that you watch it to the very end, so that you get all of the emotion and all of the stuff that I go through. I'm pouring it into the video. I want you to see it, because it's real. I'm real. I'm a real human being, and I have concern for every person on the planet. There's people right now that are murderers. People are sick, but you can't help anyone by putting them in jail. That doesn't rehabilitate anybody. It fills a void for whoever the victim is. Yeah, you feel, you know, like justice was served, but what are we really accomplishing as a society of human beings if we're not getting to the root cause of all of these problems? Why do people kill in the first place? What is going on with them in their childhood? How are they growing up? What are they fucking being exposed to? I can tell you what most of us are exposed to. Look at all of the violence in video games and on television and movies and shit that people watch. You don't think that has an effect on people? It does. Maybe we shouldn't do so much of that, and we won't have so much violence. That's just one thing. Another thing, maybe we should give everyone access to the things that they need and stop keeping shit from people. Maybe we should try that. Poor people tend to lash out and try to get something. Yeah, that's how it usually works. You try to keep something back from somebody while somebody else is enjoying it. Yeah, might create a little bit of jealousy, might create a little bit of envy, might create a little bit of crime. Come on, y'all got to start using your brain. Anyway, all right, Mark Fuller, I'm out this time. Make sure that you support us. Comment, feedback. We need you guys to engage with us in dialogue. Open up this dialogue. Let's open it up. Share these videos. I'm definitely going to promote and, you know, try to get these videos out to more people, because we're going to change this world for the better. We're going to. That's a guarantee. Every description of heaven, ain't no money in it. So what the fuck are we doing? Jesus prayed for heaven to come to earth. He said, "Thy will be done. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." That's from Jesus. For you Christians. All right, I'm out. Mark Fuller. Deuce.